there. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Shakespeare. Welcome to Romeo and Juliet. Welcome to Shakespeare. And today, big, important scene coming up. So, let's crack on, shall we? Remember Romeo killed Tybalt, got exiled. Oops. Thought, as did Juliet, that's worse than anything. But Friar Lawrence's nurse talked some sense into them, and so now here's the plan. Romeo has now spent his wedding night with Juliet. Now he must escape, as the sun is coming up. And he must go to Mantua, a town quite close to Verona, and wait there while Friar Lawrence works out some way to make everything okay again. So, this is, as they're waking up, Romeo is getting up to escape and get out of the window. And it's an interesting little scene, which I'll be honest with you, right? Please don't think that teachers have all the answers. And as my watch tries to give me some of the answers, be quiet. That's better. Stupid Siri thinks it knows everything. Don't think that teachers know all the answers. And remember, in English, often there is no clear one answer anyway. And it's great. You can be rewarded for your interpretation. I've talked about this in the other literature texts. Ambiguous language, maybe it's this, perhaps it's that. As long as you can back up your ideas with facts and proof, then, and it makes sense, they can't really mark you down. The reason I'm saying that is because I always find this quite an interesting scene, and maybe it's just me being a little bit ignorant, I don't know. Juliet has enjoyed her wedding night so much that she doesn't want Romeo to leave. Now, clearly, if Romeo doesn't leave, he will die. Because when he's caught, they will execute him. He's been told, exiled, if he comes back in, he's executed. He never even left. Is this just showing how wonderful their passion was, how much they love each other, how much she loves him, that she can't get over that selfish moment of, oh, this is wonderful, let it carry on? Is she just saying, I just want to keep you here, I don't want you to leave? Is it perhaps that immaturity that we've talked about in Romeo and Juliet? And Juliet is showing it here, that they've jumped into this terribly quickly. They are in love, but they've really jumped into this. Is it that? Is it that she's too immature to take a step back and think, oh, yeah, you need to go, mate. I will see you again. Instead, she's selfishly sort of living in the moment. I'm not totally sure. I've never been totally sure. And that's okay. Because, look, I just gave you 3 possibilities and I explained them a bit. If I put some quotes in to prove it, that'd be a very fair thing to do in writing about any literature text. Okay? So I'm not sure. And I think a good English literature student can turn uncertainty to their advantage to make some good work, as long as they don't, as long as you think you've got a point. Okay? Anyway, right, so she doesn't want him to leave. He's been woken by the bird, by the lark. Have you heard Up with the Larks? Ever heard that phrase? The larks have started singing, the dawn chorus, the birds sing when the sun comes up. And she's going to say, no, it's the nightingale. There's a nightingale lives in the pomegranate tree outside my window. That's what you heard. The nightingale is the bird that sings at night. So she's trying to tell him, stay, because that was great. Too much information. Wilt thou be gone? It is not yet near day. It was the nightingale, not the lark, that pierced a fearful hollow of thine ear. Nightly she sings on yon pomegranate tree. Pomegranate tree. It's good tongue twisters. Believe me, love, it was the nightingale. It was the lark, the herald of the morn, no nightingale. Look, love, what envious streaks do lace the severing clouds in yonder east. Night's candles are burnt out, and jocund day stands tiptoe on the misty mountain tops. I must be gone and live, or stay and die again. The links of light and love, and night's candles now are burned out, and so love is gone. The light coming through the clouds, the sunlight is envious. It's jealous of us because we are great, we're wonderful, and the sun wishes it had love like ours. Again, heavenly imagery as well. And she's going to keep going, even though he says, if I stay, I'll die. Yon light is not day-night, and no, it's some meteor that the sun exhales to be to thee this night a torch-bearer, and light thee on thy way to Mantua. Therefore stay yet, thou needst not be gone. No, it's some weird meteor fired out of the sun to light you on your way to Mantua, so please stay. And Romeo agrees with her. This will snap her out of it, because he says, yeah, I know, I love you, I want to stay here, I don't mind, let me die. They have consistently said this all the way through, haven't they? I don't mind dying as long as I'm with you. Let me be taken, let me be put to death, I am content, so thou wilt have it so. I'll say yon grey is not the morning's eye, 'tis but the pale reflex of Cynthia's brow, that nor that is not the lark, whose notes do beat the vaulty heaven so high above our heads. Have more care to stay than will to go. Come death and welcome, Juliet wills it so. How is it, my soul? Let's talk, it is not day, so I'm going to stay. Let's have a chat. It's not daytime yet. I've more care to stay than will to go. I want to stay more than I need to go. So come death and welcome. That's all right. That's fine. Come death and welcome, Juliet wills it so. I think, even Juliet in her lovey-dovey state, when she hears Romeo saying, I want to die because you want me to, and I'll do whatever you want, I think that is probably what snaps her out of it, isn't it? It was a shocking thing to hear. And so now she says, clear off, yeah? It is. Hie hence, be gone away. It's the lark that sings so out of tune, straining harsh discords and unpleasing sharps. Yeah, the lark is singing this horrible song. Yeah, people say, as you'll see in the next bit, people say that the lark's song is beautiful. It's not, because it's dividing us. Division is an old word for music. She says the lark makes sweet division, but it's not sweet division. It's not sweet music, because it divides us. Yeah, I've read the next bit. Some say the lark makes sweet division. This doth not so, for she divideth us. Some say the lark and loathed toads change eyes. Oh, now I would they'd changed voices too, since arm from arm that voice does us affray, hunting thee hence with hunts up to the day. Oh, now be gone, more light and light it grows. More light and light, more dark and dark our woes. Again, this light, dark contrast, the lighter it gets, the darker their problems become. I seem to be having great problems pronouncing consonants this morning, don't I? I am sorry. This is water, not vodka, I promise you. Oh, the nurse comes in. Good night, nurse. I know she's familiar, but hey. Madam! Nurse, your lady mother is coming to your chamber. Ooh, the day is broke, be wary, look about. So yeah, Mum, your mum's coming. Yeah! So then window, let day in and let life out. Oh, Romeo's her life. Farewell, farewell, one kiss, and I'll descend. And they kiss, and he goes out the window. That's a phrase you don't hear very often. Art thou gone so? Love, Lord, husband, friend, I must hear from thee every day in the hour, for in a minute there are many days. Or by this count I shall be much in years ere I again behold my Romeo. That's it's nice, that, isn't it? A variation on what you were saying before about I can't wait to hear about Romeo and whether he's going to marry me or not. The child waiting for the festival. In a minute there are many days. I've got to hear from you every hour, because in every minute there are many days. Your time will pass slowly. Every minute will feel like days because we're apart. Yeah. Farewell. I will omit no opportunity that thou may convey my greetings, love, to thee. Oh, thinkst thou we shall ever meet again? Oh, that depressive sort of irony, that foreboding. I doubt it not, and all these woes shall serve for sweet discourses in our time to come. I don't doubt it, and in the future we'll be laughing about this. O God, I have an ill-divining soul. Methinks I see thee, now thou art below, as one dead in the bottom of a tomb. Either my eyesight fails, or thou look'st pale. We've seen Romeo having sort of bad feelings, bad stuff's coming. Remember, I'm going to the party now. Oh, I've got a bad feeling this'll end in death. Cheerful. And now there she is. She's looking out the window down at him on the ground floor, and she says, "It feels like I'm looking down at you in a tomb. I'm looking at your grave. Oh, either my eyesight fails, or you look pale like a dead body." And he says, "Well, and trust me, love, in my eyes, so do you. You look pale like a dead body too, Charmer. Dry sorrow drinks our blood. Adieu, adieu." So sadness drinks our blood, it makes us pale. And he goes, "Oh, fortune, fortune, all men call thee fickle. If thou art fickle, what dost thou with him that is renowned for faith? Be fickle, fortune, for then I hope thou wilt not keep him long, but send him back." Fickle, have you ever heard people talk about you hear this phrase quite a lot, actually, the fickle finger of fate. And basically, fickle means sort of random. So fate, or in this case, fortune, is random. You know, your luck just does whatever it feels like to you. But again, continuing this image that their lives are controlled by something bigger than them, isn't it? And here's Lady Capulet. He left just in time. Oh, daughter, are you up? Who is that calls? Is it my lady mother? Is she not down so late or up so early? What unaccustomed cause procures her hither? Yeah, obviously mum likes a lion. Why, how now, Juliet? Madam, I am not well. Again, remember, the Capulets think she's crying her eyes out all the time because Tybalt died, when actually she's crying her eyes out because she can't be with Romeo. Also remember, at the very end yesterday, Capulet said to Paris, I'll let you marry my daughter, and let's do it on Thursday, in 3 days' time, or 2 days' time. That was Tuesday now, in the play. She doesn't know this yet. Capulet has said, you know, she's my daughter, so I own her, so there you go, you can have her, I'm giving her away. Yeah, she thinks that might cheer everybody up, as you do, you know, double wedding / funeral. People love that sort of thing. Big chuckles all round. So Capulet, Lady Capulet thinks she's crying for Tybalt. Evermore weeping for your cousin's death, what wilt thou wash him from his grave with tears? And if thou couldst not make him live. Therefore have done. Some grief shows much of love, but much of grief shows still some want of wit. Oh, isn't she a comfort? Eh? I mean, to be fair, like I said at the very start, really nurses her mother in the sense of she raised her. Lady Capulet is a posh lady in the background, you know. And this is a terrifically cold statement, isn't it? You know, oh, you're still crying. You're crying so much over him. Oh, even if you could wash him out of his grave with your tears, he'd still be dead. And then she says, some grief shows much of love. So feeling a bit of sadness, showing a bit of sadness, shows you loved somebody. But a lot of grief shows some want of wit. So basically, but if you're as upset as this, it means you're stupid. Oh, thank you, mummy. Lovely. Juliet, unlike the first time we saw her and her mum, stands up for us and justifies herself rather than say, yes, mummy, no, mummy. Yet let me weep for such a feeling loss. So shall you feel the loss, but not the friend which you weep for. Feeling so the loss cannot choose, but ever weep the friend. Well, girl, thou weeps not so much for his death as that the villain lives which slaughtered him. Yeah? You're not crying over Tybalt, you're crying because that evil Romeo is still alive. What villain, madam? That same villain, Romeo. And Juliet, talking to herself here, so Lady Capulet can't hear, because she doesn't agree. The villain and he be many miles asunder. God pardon him, I do with all my heart, and yet no man like he doth grieve my heart. Yeah, he's not a murderer. That is because the traitor murderer lives. I, madam, from the reach of these my hands, would none but I might venge my cousin's death. We are going to go into a nicely written piece here by Shakespeare. Here's a clever lad, old Baldy. Juliet is going to be deliberately speaking ambiguously. Again, double meaning. So Lady Capulet thinks she's talking about what she's talking about, Tybalt and killing Romeo, but Juliet is not. Juliet's saying the opposite. So she says, I'm upset because he's out of the reach of my hands. So Lady Capulet thinks that means, yeah, because Juliet wants to grab him and kill him. No, she wants to do other things too with her hands, doesn't she? And then would none but I might venge my cousin's death, which Lady Capulet takes as, I want no one but me to take vengeance on my cousin's death. Yeah, I want to be the one who kills him. But if you look at it, you can take that the opposite way, can't you? I hope nobody but me kills him, takes vengeance, and I'm not going to do it, so he'll be fine. Yeah, I want no one else. I want nobody to do anything to him. We will have vengeance for it, fear thou not, then weep no more. I'll send to one in Mantua, where that same banished runagate doth live, shall give him such an unaccustomed dram, that he shall soon keep Tybalt company, and then, I hope, thou wilt be satisfied. Oh, somehow they know he's gone to Mantua. How do they know that? He's just the second jumped out of her window. And she said she's going to send a poisoner to poison him and kill him. Yeah? What's that word, runagate? What modern word has developed from runagate? Renegade? Yeah, runaway, somebody who's against the law. Renegade. So do you see how language works? Things just develop, smooth off, sound more palatable to speak. Indeed, I shall never be satisfied with Romeo till I behold him. Dead is my poor heart for a kinsman vexed. Madam, if you could find out but a man to bear a poison, I would temper it, that Romeo should upon receipt thereof soon sleep in quiet. Oh, how my heart abhors to hear him named, and cannot come to him, to wreak the love I bore my cousin upon his body that slaughtered him. Again, loads of double meaning. I'm sorry, but I really like this bit. Lots of double meanings. That word dead there with the dash, essentially what she's doing is take away the first dash and it means what Lady Capulet wants to hear. But if you take away the second dash and it's what she's really saying. So Lady Capulet hears, indeed, I never shall be satisfied with Romeo till I behold him dead. I'm never going to be happy with him until he's dead and I see it. Or, what she really means, indeed, I never shall be satisfied with Romeo till I behold him. I'll never be happy until I see him. Dead is my poor heart for a kinsman vexed. My heart's dead because my family member is unhappy. But that unhappy person is not Tybalt. It's Romeo. Yeah, she's married to him. And then if you could find a man to bear a poison, I would temper it. Lady Capulet taken out as, I would add more to it. I'd add more poison to it, make it even worse. But to temper something, really, Juliet means I'll add something to make it less effective. Yeah? Stick loads of water in it. That Romeo should upon receipt thereof soon sleep in quiet. Lady Capulet means the permanent sleep. Juliet actually means, he just drinks it and he just has a nice sleep. I hate to hear his name and not be able to go to him. So, yeah. I want to give him the love I bore my cousin. Slightly scary comment, that, isn't it, really? Love, in this sense, we saw Romeo use as a Tybalt before, meaning strong feelings. So Lady Capulet thinks, right, I'm going to take it all out on Romeo, but Juliet is genuinely saying, I want to do love to him. Hey, romantic, isn't I? The creepy bit is the love I bore my cousin. Okay. Anyway, let's move on from that. First, find out the means, and I'll find such a man. But now I'll tell thee joyful tidings, girl. Of course, why has she come up? To tell her about the Paris wedding. And joy comes well in such a needy time. What are they, I beseech your ladyship? Well, thou hast a careful father, child. One who, to put thee from thy heaviness, hath sorted out a sudden day of joy, that thou expectest not, nor I look not for. Okay. Madam, happy time. What day is that? Oh, mummy, what lovely treat has Dad lined up? Wait for it, girl. Marry, my child. Early next Thursday morn, the gallant young and noble gentleman, the County Paris, at St. Peter's Church, shall happily make thee there a joyful bride. You're getting married Thursday morning. Ding dong, the bells are going to chime. And remember, like I said, first time that we saw Lady Capulet and Juliet's super obedient. Yes, mummy, I will love the man, but only as much as you tell me to. So if you tell me to change my mind, I'll stop loving him and you can send me to somebody else. That's what she said at first. Maybe not in quite so high-pitched a tone. Now, she goes nuts. She stands up to her mum. She says, no. Now, by St. Peter's Church, and Peter too, he shall not make me there a joyful bride. I wonder at this haste, that I must wed ere he that should be husband comes to woo. What's the rush? He's not even chatted me up. That's what Capulet said at the start. Try and chat her up and see. He's not even done that yet. And yet, I'm supposed to marry him? I pray you, tell my lord and father, madam, I will not marry yet. And when I do, I swear, it shall be Romeo, whom you know I hate, rather than Paris. These are news indeed. Oh, that's cute, isn't it? Yeah? I tell Dad I'm not going to marry yet, and frankly, I'd marry Romeo before I married him. Yeah, well, she has. I still had Lady Capulet there, sorry. Oh, here we go. Here comes your father. Tell him so yourself, and see how he will take it at your hands. Well, tell him yourself. Here he comes. Uh-oh. This is unbelievable, this bit. So Capulet turns up, and he's like, doesn't know, of course, that Juliet's turned him down. When the sun sets, the air doth drizzle dew, but for the sunset of my brother's son, it rains downright. Yeah, it's just pathetic fallacy, the weather reflecting the mood. It's pouring down because Tybalt is dead. How now, a conduit girl? What, still in tears? Evermore showering? In one little body thou counterfeitest a bark, a sea, a wind, for still thy eyes, which I may call the sea, do ebb and flow with tears. The bark thy body is sailing in this salt flood, the winds thy sighs, who raging with thy tears, and they with them, without a sudden calm, will overset the tempest-tossed body. Yeah, so your tears are like the sea, your body is like a boat, your sighs are like the wind. This image of a rough ship in a rough sea. It's all her grief, and unless there's a sudden calm, unless you calm yourself down, your body will be tempest tossed and overset. The storm will sink the ship is her body. You will become ill. You could die from grief here. You need to cheer up. Yeah, he's lined up what he thinks will cheer her up. And here we are. Look at this last word he says. How now, wife? Have you delivered to her our decree? Yeah? A decree is an order. He's not saying, have you told her about the idea? What does she think? He's saying, have you given her the order? Yeah? You must marry Paris. Aye, sir. But she will none. She gives you thanks. I would the fool were married to her grave. My God. Lady Capulet saying, she says no thanks. I wish the fool was dead. Oh my gosh, that's parenting, eh? Social services, please. Blanking heck. You think she's bad? Just watch Romeo Capulet, who will start off just building up his anger. Soft, take me with you, wife. How will she none? Does she not give us thanks? Is she not proud? Does she not count her blessed and worthy as she is, that we have wrought so worthy a gentleman to be her bridegroom? Not proud you have, but thankful that you have. Proud can I never be of what I hate, but thankful even for hate that is meant love. So Juliet tries to be diplomatic here and says, I'm not proud because I really don't want to marry this guy. But I am thankful. I appreciate you're doing this out of love. I appreciate you trying to do this to cheer me up. And so I appreciate that. Thank you, Dad, but I'm not doing it. And look at this now. He starts getting angry. Look at the amount of punctuation in this. It's choppy because he's just shouting. He's losing it. He's going nuts now. And the flow is still there. It's still iambic pentameter, but the repetition and the amount of punctuation shows that he's really barking angrily at her now. Yeah. How now? Chop logic? What is this? Proud, and I thank you not? Yet not proud? Mistress Minnie and you, thank me no thankings, nor proud me no prouds, but fettle your fine joints against Thursday next, to go with Paris to St. Peter's Church, or I will drag thee on a hurdle thither. Out, you green sickness carrion! Out, you baggage, you tallow face! That's your dad. Oh, a couple of little points here. He had that repetition and sort of all chopped up because he's angry, he's lost it. He's repeat, thank me no thankings, proud me no prouds. And he says, you go, your fine joints, get yourself moving. Yeah, like he's sarcastic, you're fine, you're so good, apparently. Go to church, or I'll drag you there on a hurdle. A hurdle was a sort of wooden sled thing that they used to drag dead bodies away after executions. So that's a nice image to start off with, yeah? He calls her green sickness carrion. Carrion, remember I said yesterday with the flies? Dead meat. Green, so you're rotten dead meat. You're baggage, prostitute. You're a tallow face, tallow that they made wax out, candles out of. She's pale, yeah? Even Lady Capulet, who just said she wishes that she was dead, is like, fine, what, are you mad? Calm down, husband, you can't talk like that to her. Good father, I beseech you on my knees, hear me with patience, but to speak a word, Dad, just listen for a second. Oh, no chance, because he's lost it. Now this, oof. Hang thee, young baggage, disobedient wretch. I tell you what, get thee to church on Thursday, or never have to look me in the face, speak, not reply, do not answer me. My fingers itch. Wife, we scarce thought us blessed that God had lent us but this only child. But now I see this one is one too much, and that we have a curse in having her. Out on her, Hilding! Ooh. Get there. Lots more insults. Get there. Or never look at me again. I'll disown you. I'll kick you out. Do not speak. My fingers itch. I want to hit her. Horrible. Wife, we thought we were unlucky to only have one child. But now I can see this one is one too much. And we have a curse in having her. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we thought we were sad because we only had one kid. Now we realise we've been better off with none. She's a curse. Oh my gosh. Nurse, fair play to her, because remember, I mean, she's a servant. She stands up to him. God in heaven, bless her. You are to blame, my lord, to rate her, so you don't talk to her like that. And he's going to be sarcastic, you know, like, you're stupid. You're sarcastically calling her Lady Wisdom. And why Lady Wisdom? Hold your tongue, good Prudence. Smatter with your gossips, go, you know, go off and gossip. I speak no treason. Oh, God, ye Gaden. May not one speak. Peace, you mumbling fool. Utter your gravity over a gossip's ball, for here we need it not. Lady Capulet tells him to calm down. You're too hot. God's bread, it makes me mad. Day, night, hour, tide, time, work, play, alone in company, still my care hath been to have her matched. And having now provided a gentleman of noble parentage, of fair demeans, youthful and nobly trained, stuffed, as they say, with honourable parts, proportioned as one's thought would wish a man, and then to have a retching, puling fool, a whining mammet in her fortune's tender, to answer, I'll not wed, I cannot love, I'm too young, I pray you pardon me. But as you will not wed, I'll pardon you. Graze where you will, you shall not house with me. Look to it, think on it. I do not use to jest. Thursday is near. Lay hand on heart, advise. An you be mine, I'll give you to my friend. An you be not, hang, beg, starve, die in the streets. For by my soul I'll ne'er acknowledge thee, nor what is mine shall never do thee good. Trust to it, bethink you. I'll be forsworn. And he storms out. Wow, that's not nice. I spend all my time making a good marriage for her. I find this perfect guy, and she says no. Well, he says, lay hand on heart, advise, I'm telling you honestly the truth. An you be mine, my an is that if. If you're mine, I'll give you to my friend, yeah? I mean, just look at the language here. If you're mine, yeah? If I own you, almost like a slave, a possession, I'll give you to my friend. But if you're not, all the nice things he will allow to happen to her before when he'll still not do anything, not help her. She can hang, she can beg, she can starve, she can die in the streets. For by my soul, I'll never acknowledge you. I'll never admit that you're my daughter. What is mine shall never do thee good. Yeah? Nothing of mine will ever benefit you. If you don't marry him, you're gone. You're cut off. You can die in the streets. I don't care. Wow. That's parenting. Is there no pity sitting in the clouds at season to the bottom of my grief? O sweet mother, cast me not away. Delay this marriage for a month or a week, or if you do not, make the bridal bed in that dim monument where Tybalt lies. So Juliet, smart thinking under pressure, says, please, Mum, can't you just talk to Dad and delay it? That'll buy her some time. She can go see Friar Lawrence and hopefully he'll have more time to think of an idea. She's getting nothing out of Mum, though. Talk not to me, for I'll not speak a word. Do as thou wilt, for I have done with thee. She goes out. Just Juliet and Nurse there now. Oh God, oh Nurse, how shall this be prevented? My husband is on earth, my faith in heaven. How shall that faith return again to earth, unless that husband send it me from heaven by leaving earth? Comfort me, counsel me. Alack, alack, that heaven should practice stratagems upon so soft a subject as myself. What sayest thou? Hast thou not a word of joy? Some comfort, Nurse? She's desperate. She turns to the nurse, and she also focuses a bit on that idea that a Christian can't get married twice at the same time. It's bigamy. It's a sin. She's married to Romeo. So apart from the fact she doesn't want to marry Paris, she couldn't do this because she's forced to, because she would be sinning. And remember the hardcore religious beliefs that people would have at the very start of one of Capulet's rants. He said, God's bread. Now, to us that sounds a bit weird, doesn't it? But in those days, anything blasphemous would be seen as horrifically strong language. So he swears on God's bread. As we know, yeah, RE lessons, the host, the communion, that's God's bread. And Catholics believe that when it's blessed, becomes, in communion, the body of Christ. He is swearing against the body of Christ. That is extreme, and that would get a reaction from the audience in Shakespeare's time. That's your worst swearing in those days. Stuff to do with God. And so it's pretty strong stuff. And so Juliet said, apart from anything else, I can't sin. What do I do, nurse? Now the problem is asking nurse for advice. Might not get what you want to hear, and I'm afraid, bless her, she's not going to say what Juliet wants to hear. Faith, here it is. Romeo's banished and all the world to nothing, that he dares ne'er come back to challenge you. But if he do, it needs must be by stealth. Then, since the case so stands as it now, I think it best you married with the county. Oh my gosh, you're saying, well, Romeo's not here. Can't do anything about it. It's probably best off marrying the Count, Paris. Oh, he's a lovely gentleman. Romeo's a dishcloth to him. Romeo's a dishcloth compared to him, like that. An eagle, madam, hath not so green, so quick, so fair an eye, as Paris hath. Beshrew my very heart, I think you are happy in this second match, for it excels your first. Or if it did not, your first is dead. What were as good he were, as living here and you no use to him. She's trying to give good advice, but that is really not what Juliet wants to hear. He's great, Paris. Marry him. It's a better marriage than Romeo. And if it isn't, it doesn't matter, because your first marriage is as good as dead. He can't get back in. Beshrew my heart, she says. Shrivel up my heart. If I'm not speaking the truth, speakest thou from my heart, and from my soul too, for else beshrew them both. Amen, Juliet, sounding like she's agreeing. Yeah, I hope your heart and your soul shrivel up. What? Well, thou hast comforted me marvellous much. Go in, tell my lady I am gone, having displeased my father, to Lawrence's cell, to make confession, and to be absolved. Marry a will, and this is wisely done. So Juliet saying, well, she said amen. You think, and this is like, what are you saying to me? You say something nasty to me. And then Juliet's sarcastic. And of course, all these double meanings. I'm just thinking about drama students. There's some of these crafty double meanings when she talks to her mum as well. I wonder if that would be a good scene to do. I don't know if that's how it works in drama. To sort of pull out the subtleties of what's going on. Anyway, sorry. Back to this. She says, she uses sarcasm. And of course, handily, sarcasm is saying the opposite of what you mean. Watch the Father's Head episode with the sarcastic priest. It's beautiful. You've comforted me a lot. So nurse is now thinking, do you not that bright that, oh, okay, no, sorry, I misunderstood. Juliet does agree with me. And tell mum I've gone because I've displeased my father to Lawrence's cell to make confession and be absolved. Now, that, remember, is what you do before you get married. You have confession, so there are no sins on you when you get married. So nurse thinks, oh, right, okay, she's taking my advice and she's going to go to make confession so she can get married. And she says, oh yeah, it's a good idea, and she leaves. And then Juliet, I'll just do this and I'll finish, okay? Juliet, angry at the nurse in private, ancient damnation, or most wicked fiend, is it more sin to wish me thus forsworn, or to dispraise my lord at that same tongue which she hath praised him with above compare so many thousand times? Yeah? Oh my God, she's awful. All the time she praised him, and now she says that about him. Go, counsellor. Thou and my bosom henceforth shall be twain. I'll to the friar to know his remedy. If all else fail, myself have power to die. Wow, right, from now on, nurse, I'm never going to trust you. We'll never be together. I'm going to go to the Friar Lawrence, to see what solution he can come up with. And if he can't come up with an answer, at least I can kill myself. Oh, awkward, okay. A dramatic point to leave it at. See you at 10 o'clock tomorrow for more Romeo and Juliet fun.